what is the CSS? CSS is the language we use style and HTML document. Okay, so CSS describe how HTML elements should be displayed, and this help you with the help of a CSS. We display the content with a proper style design with a uh, good look and feel. Okay, for that purpose we refer the CSS. Okay, without the CSS, as we have seen this form. Okay, you can see this form without CSS. You can see this form how it's looking. Okay, so it's not looking good. Okay, without any space and all. This form is without CSS. When we apply the CSS, then you can see it's looking good with the proper space and all those things. Okay, so that is the purpose of the CSS. The HTML is the basic structure of the page. HTML is the basic structure of the page, and we use the CSS to to improve look and feel of the page. For that purpose, we use the CSS. Okay, so now we'll go into the CSS. Okay, now in this CSS, okay, so what is the CSS? First thing is, what is the CSS? CSS stands for Cascade Style Sheet. Okay, CSS describe how HTML elements are to be displayed on the screen, okay, paper or other media. Okay, means using the CSS we modify the look and feel, and that how it should look on different devices. Okay, means with the platform independent, means wherever you open in a browser or in a browser on different devices, it will look good as per their browser. Okay, so CSS save a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages. We can use same CSS on a different pages. As I what I'm saying, we can use the same CSS on a different pages. Okay, external style sheets are stored in a CSS files. As we have used refer the external CSS file using the means we keep the file at a different location and refer file from there. Okay, so here we can see they gave the example here, one page and with the different CSS styles. Okay, see with a different means a single page means using this page, same page will look in a different manner with the help of the CSS. With the help of the CSS. Okay, so why we use CSS? CSS define the style for your web page, include design, layout, and variation display for different devices and screen size. Okay, so you understand that. Now this is just a simple CSS. I open it here and show you. You can see the background color, how they change the background color and all. Okay, so quickly I will go you and we'll move into the Visual Studio Code. CSS solve the big problems. Okay, HTML was never intended to contain a tags for formatting a web page. HTML was created describe the content. The role of the HTML, as I have shown you, to just display the content and field. Okay, the CSS role is to beautify, okay, and to improve look and user interface using this CSS. Okay, when you can see h1 tag, then p tag, when tag like font, the color attribute were added to the HTML 3.2 specification, it started a nightmare for the web development. See, earlier means some HTML also having font is also there. Okay, we using the font, we can just modify the font size of our uh, say word or all things. Those are in p tag or h1 tag, but it was bit difficult. That's why using the CSS we can modify look and feel or color or background color as per our requirement. Okay, so CSS, with the help of CSS, it save a lot of work in spite of writing the custom HTML. We can directly apply the CSS, and using the HTML we cannot improve the page look and feel as per we can see if like CSS. Okay, means now I'll go in syntax. Okay, how we can write the CSS. Now in syntax, many of you already know these things. Okay, I just go into the syntax. Okay, so CSS syntax. See, this is a very important thing. Okay, there are in CSS there are selectors. Okay, earlier what are the different selectors we have learned? In selector we learn id, class, okay, then element name. These are different css we have referred as of now. Okay, now while writing the css, then here we can see the syntax. Okay, first one, while writing the css, first one is selector, or we called it as a identifier. Okay, so you also note down these things. Means interviewer just ask you, just tell me the syntax for css. Okay, so while facing interview, they start from few basic things and then they move towards the advanced things. Okay, they just check how you know the about the CSS. Then they ask you what are the different selector you use in CSS. Then you need to tell that ID, then class, then element name. Okay, so this is a selector. After that, declaration. Okay, in declaration part, there is a property and value. Then color, background color, margin, padding, all those things will come into the property. After that, the value. What is the value for that property? That value in a value after this colon. Okay, after this colon we put the value. So what we do? We have the Visual Studio Code and we have the say like Visual Studio Code IDE, it's Integrated Development Environment. This which will help you, and it will provide the suggestions or intelligence what will be the value for this property, like this. See, whenever you are writing any CSS, I just show you here. You can see when I write here color, then if I say colon, then it will give me the intelligence. This is called as intelligence. This is called as intelligence, means it gives me the suggestions what will be the probable value over there. Okay, so now then here I scroll down, you understand that after that you need to give the uh, semicolon. Okay, and again then we need to write the other properties here. Okay, this is the way you can write the css. The selector point to the html element you want to style. The declaration block contain one or more declaration separated by semicolon. You need to separate it by the semicolon. Each declaration includes css property name and value separated by a colon. Multiple css declaration are spread with the semicolon, and declaration blocks are surrounded by the curly braces. Now start with the curly brace and end with the curly brace. Okay, in this example, see, this is just a paragraph. Okay, and here p is the element. So p is called as a identifier. Okay, or we can call it as the selector. P is the selector and this is the a property or attribute, and it's a value, and we close the curly braces. So this is the syntax for the css. Okay, so p is the selector, color is the property, red is the property value, and text align is the property, and center is the property value. Okay, so here you can see if we go here, it align the text at the center. So earlier Neha just asked me why this my form is not aligned at a center. You just use any css property, align center, this only. Okay, you check that it will align at the center. Okay, so now example explained. P is a selector. Now I have explained here. Now we go in a selector. Selectors are very important. Why I'm using the word very, because selector, the role of the selector means to identify the particular. Now see, now HTML is a separate. HTML define the structure and your CSS is separate. But you are writing the CSS. Writing the CSS, there are three different ways. One is inline CSS, other is internal CSS, and third is external CSS. If you are using the internal CSS and external CSS, if you are using internal CSS and external CSS, then you should know what selector should be there. Okay, so selector is used to find out the HTML element. Means with the help of selector we pick the particular element like paragraph, table, or div, or whatever. Okay, you just select using the help of the selector. Means if there's a school, in that school I'll say standard 5th, roll number 12. Roll number is his ID. Then the 12 I identify that particular student with the help of the roll number 12. So to that particular, you just select that particular CSS. Okay, you select that, identify that particular HTML and bind that your CSS with that HTML. Okay, with the help of selector, simple selector. Select element based on name, ID, and class. These are the simple selector, and we use this selector as of now. Combine selector, select element based on specific relationship between them. Pseudo class selector, select the element based on certain state. So we'll see one by one selector how they use this. Okay, combine selector and all, we come to that also, but we cover this chapter first. Okay, CSS element selector. Now here we use the P as the selector, as a element selector, ID as a selector. ID as a selector. Many times we give the ID as a selector, means for that particular element we give the ID here. Now here I have added this table as CSS here. Okay, I have added this table CSS. I remove this CSS from here. Okay, this CSS. Okay, CSS, three different ways to add a CSS. Here I have added inline CSS. Here I have added inline CSS. I remove that inline CSS. Okay, and what I do, I just add this CSS here in header section. In the header section, you can see here, this is the external CSS. This is the external CSS. Okay, and what I do, I remove the CSS, and now I'll say style. Okay, style. Then this is my table. This is my table. I save this and go in my form and refresh that form now. Okay, from it's not okay. This is the form. This is also not. I think this is okay. This is the form. As I have removed the CSS, I have removed the CSS reference from the that form, particular form. Okay, so I go back here. Okay, so here I have added the style tag here, but to which element you want to bind that style. For that purpose, I want to bind that style to this table, to this table. Okay, to this table. So what I do, I just go here. I just go here and I'll say ID. This is identifier, and say personal table. Okay, personal table. I have given the identifier as a personal table. Okay, I'll go here, I select that ID, and with this help of this ID, I just write here. Now if you are using ID, then you need to say hash here personal table, then curly braces, then what color, I say background color, and you give the brown. Okay, and save this. Okay, now I will go here and refresh. You can see background color. Okay, just a moment. Again, voice is not clear, sir. Okay, CSS. Okay, here. Okay, but the thing is that if I have used the ID here, with the help of ID, I just put the CSS here. But sometimes what happen, I have here, you can see there are two table rows. There are two table rows. One is table row is here, and other table row is here. Okay, and your expectation is to give the color code to that table rows with a different color coding. Okay, with a different color coding. Or in case if your page having, and you want to give the all tr having same color code, then you can directly go with the tr. Then you can directly say tr in tr, and give the curly braces and say tr background color, or okay, background color, because I prefer the background color, it will display the quickly. Okay, I save this background color and I refresh this. Now you can see brown border, you can see for table. This actually, this is a table CSS, and internally what I did, I added this tr because there are only these two three trs are there in this page. These two trs are there. Okay, that's why it will display that particular tr only. Okay, now what I do, now see, means what we did, we use the element, we use element as a selector here. Now what I do, I use the class here. I use the class. Now what here this ID is for a table. Now what I do, I see sometimes what happen if you want to give there are multiple tr, but you want say some selected tr having this color background and some selected element having this color background. Okay, then at that time we refer the class is refer if you are giving something if you want to give some style or some look and feel to the group of element, okay, to the group of element, then only you need to select the class, then only you need to select this class. Okay, so here field set is there. Here you can see the one field set is there. Okay, again I scroll down, you can see another field set is here. So if you will say I want something different color or something different alignment in this field set, so what I do, I just say class. Okay, because I have multiple field set with the same element name, means we have multiple element like a field set and you want to apply same css to all the elements. So what you do, you use the class here. Okay, but if you have only one element and particular for particular that only one element you want to give the css, then what you do, you use the id for that. You use the id for that. And if you have the group of the element, okay, or multiple elements and you want to bind the same css to them, you need to go with the class for that. Okay, so consider if I'll say fifth standard class. Okay, fifth class, then all the group of student will be considered in that class. I'll say fifth standard class, please come tomorrow, come with the red t-shirt. I just say fifth standard class, then it will identify all the class student. Okay, all the 50 student in that class. If I'll say roll number 21, tomorrow you please come with the black t-shirt, then that particular one guy will come in a black t-shirt. Okay, like this way we identify the html elements using the css. Okay, now here I'll say class. I give the I name as a fld set, I class name as, and I use the same class name for other elements also. Okay, I just go down and put here also same class name, and here also put the same. Okay, and save this. Now see, now here you have the class. Okay, now what you do, when you use the class, for id we use the hash, then for class you need to use dot. Okay, dot, then you write here field set, field, you know the class name as a field set, and then your curly braces, then we start say background color, and I give the purple, something purple like. Okay, so I have given some background color as purple, and I save this. Now see, I save this and I go to my page and refresh it. You can see I have applied the class here. Okay, I have applied the class to this field set. I miss this field set here, other education details. I go in that and I apply my class name. My class name is fld set. I miss that field set here. Here is that field set. Okay, here I just say class and fld set. Okay, and I save this. Okay, and I refresh this. See, fld, I check the spelling, fld set, small fld. Where is that? Here, class small fld set. Okay, I have given proper, but and I refresh it. See, here even though I have refreshed this other education detail field set with the class fld set, but still it's not reflecting. Why? I just check that. I copy this field set. I just copy. Maybe there is some spelling mistake. Here you can see S is capital, and here you can see just a minute. S is capital, and here you can see the S is small. You're getting, means class name is a case sensitive. Class name is a case sensitive. So I just change the field set and go here and refresh it now. what happened? I think all are capital. That's why I used to copy and paste. Here also capital. And I save this and I refresh it. Okay, all backgrounds are changed. Okay, so now here you can see I use here ID. I've used here ID. That's why it has been colors is different, and other I refer the class. Okay, for other I have referred the class. Okay, so this is here we what we did, we just apply here our uh, inline css. What we did, we apply here inline css here. Now what I do, I want to put it externally. So what you need to do, you just say control x, remove it from there. Okay, and you need to create the separate css file for that. So how you will do that, so I'll go here, a new file. Okay, and say save file save the open registration form. See, you need to add it in a same folder. Then I say regfrm.css. I keep this R capital. Okay, and I save this. See, I save this and I put my, remove the style will not require if you have in a file, css file. Okay, now my css is saved here. Okay, in same folder, I'll go in the folder and show you the folder as well. You can see regfrm. Okay, now I'll go here back. Now I'll give the reference of my css. How you give the reference, we just say link, then uh, link, then rel relation, then style sheet. Okay, and then you give the href and your say control space here, and you pass your uh, css reference here and close the link tag. Sorry, close the link tag here and say control s. Now go on the page and refresh it, and no, this is not our page. Go here and refresh it. Okay, so my css as it is, but here what I did, I gave the reference of external css. I gave the reference of external. In this case, you can refer this css for different files as well, for different html file as well. You can refer same css if you have multiple pages on your uh, in your project. Then at that time you can refer same css at the different places also. I'll show you the example how a w3 school refer the same html. Okay, how w3 school use the same html at the different places. Okay, here I go in a web templates, I close remaining tabs. Okay, so here you can see here there are different templates are there. Okay, and I go in any one of the template, say try it yourself. Here you can see w3.css. Okay, again I open another template, scroll down, I open this, try it yourself. You can see here also w3.css. So for these two different templates, they refer only one w3.css. Means this is the way we can refer the same css on. In upcoming sessions you will get the idea on that how we can use refer the same css for different pages. Okay, so as of now we explore the inline css, then uh, internal css, and then external css. Okay, then tomorrow we'll look into the more details about the css. As of now we stop here. Okay, and tomorrow we'll continue.